Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna! Welcome everyone to this evening's program. Today is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and on this very auspicious day, we have a very auspicious personality here with us. We're very fortunate that His Holiness Partha Sarathi Goswami Maharaj, who is an exemplary Vaishnava and who is continuing the legacy of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is here with us today to speak, and we're very fortunate to hear, so let's hear very attentively. His Holiness Partha Sarathi Goswami Maharaj ki!
Hare Krishna. Om Aginatamarandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshmalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapatam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Sambadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapat Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vidam Dam Jijivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Brijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shivishavitam Cha Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kancha Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sudadevi Pranamani Hari Priyam Vanchaka Paturubhyascha Kripa Sandubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Namarum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivashesha Sanyavadi Praskachadi Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadha Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare So today Disappearance Day, Gadadha Pandit, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, just out of respect, we should say something about Gadadha Pandit. But I really wanted to talk about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha. So this Gadadha is an incarnation of Radharani. And there's two Gadadhas. There's Gadadha Pandit and Gadadha Das. So, what's the difference? Anyone know? Gadadha Pandit is an incarnation of Radharani, and Gadadha Das is an incarnation of the effulgence of Radharani. So is there any difference really? I guess there isn't, and yet there is. So it's simultaneously one, but different. So Gadadha Das is the effulgence or duty of Radharani, but Gadadha Pandit is actually Radharani herself. So Gadadha Pandit, born in Navadvip, Piet, and was Nimai Pandit's childhood friend. And then when Lord Chaitanya went to live in Jagannath Puri, Gadadha Pandit also went there. And he took a vow, and the vow was what? Kshetra Sannyas. What is Kshetra Sannyas? Hmm? What? Kshetra Sannyas means a vow never to leave that place. So I know there are devotees, they've taken a vow never to leave Vrindavan within ISKCON. I know that. So he took that vow, and Lord Chaitanya arranged that he stays at a place called Tota Gopinath. And there's a very beautiful deity of Tota Gopinath at Tota Gopinath. How many of you have seen that deity, Tota Gopinath? Few ladies and a few men. So this deity is very beautiful. It's human size, and Tota Gopinath is sitting down. He's sitting down, and on one side is Lalita, and the other side is Radharani. And what's special about this deity is you go there, and there'll be no one else there except God himself. But you go to the Jagannath temple, and first you have to be the right color, right? You got to get a visa to go in. And once you go inside, there's 10,000 million other people. And they're pushing you here, they're pushing you there. It's quite a commotion. Even you go to our Krishna Balaram temple in ISKCON, it's so many. But funnily enough, all these pilgrims, they go to Jagannath Puri, and they'll be very anxious to get darshan of Jagannath, Subhadra and Balaram, which is nice, good. But Tota Gopinath, nothing. Which is also nice because you're there by yourself or perhaps two other people. That's very nice. And also you can get very close to the deity, like within 2 meters. And if you go in the morning when they're doing the bathing and you give the pujari a little donation, everything works by bribery. You grease his palm, and preferably with dollars or euros. He can show you as a small crack on the kneecap of the deity where they say, or opinion is that Lord Chaitanya merged into that deity. So for Vaishnavas, this is our understanding, that Lord Chaitanya concluded his pastimes by merging into the deity of Tota Gopinath. Others say he merged into the Bay of Bengal, into the water, and others say he merged into the deity of Jagannath. But our tradition is more Tota Gopinath. So every day Lord Chaitanya will go to Tota Gopinath temple with his associates and hear Gadadhar Pandit read from the Srimad Bhagavatam about Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. So he'd hear this. It's very nice. Gadadhar Pandit. So now the question is, and this is a philosophical now, so I'm opening this up to all of you because I can see just by the construction of your face and your frontal lobes that you're all very intelligent. I can see that, much more intelligent than me. Now Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani, correct? And Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Radharani, so Radhika Bhav Prabhu Sada Abhiman. Sada means always. Abhiman means conception. Radha Bhav Prabhu. Prabhu Mahaprabhu is always in the conception. He is Radharani. So now my question is, there's two Radharanis. Lord Chaitanya's Radharani, he's in the mood, and Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani. So how is this? Two Radharanis. Would you like to offer an explanation, perhaps? Or should I rather point to someone and embarrass them? Wonderful speculation. Top of the class. Would you also like to speculate then, Sachi? Wow, the mood of your answer was half speculation, but definitely something there. Yeah. So it's an interesting point. Gadadhar Pandit was in the background, and it's described he was like the shadow. And he had to be like a shadow, because if Lord Chaitanya is feeling separation in Gambhira, and who's he feeling separation from? Lord Krishna. And Gadadhar Pandit goes there, and he's also Radharani, and he's also feeling separation. Who do they please? Swarup Damodar, Ramananda, all the other devotees. Who do they help? Is it Lord Chaitanya or is it Gadadhar Pandit? Gets a little confusing. So Gadadhar Pandit took the position of being somewhat in the background, or something like a shadow, or if you like, a Xerox copy. And in the background, because it's rasa bus to have two Radharanis. It doesn't quite make so much sense. And Gadadhar Pandit also displayed the mood of Rukmini. And the word is Sarala Bhav. Sarala means simple. So Rukmini was more simple in one sense, Sarala Bhav. Yes, it's quite deep, very, very deep indeed. But still we pray to Gadadhar Pandit for spiritual blessings and advancement, and Gadadhar Pandit. Very wonderful. And then when Lord Chaitanya left, Gadadhar Pandit remained living for about 1 year, more or less. And then he also left his body. Then there is the story that previously Tota Gopinath was standing, but because of Gadadhar Pandit was getting old, but he wasn't actually getting old. He was feeling depleted due to intense separation and therefore very weak, because Lord Chaitanya only left when he was 48. So Gadadhar Pandit was about that same age. So Tota Gopinath, who Gadadhar Pandit used to worship, sat down. So it was easier for Gadadhar Pandit to do the puja. You know, the puja. This is a public story. I'm not sure if it's fully confirmed, but so Gadadhar Pandit, great soul. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So please repeat. Namo Bhaktivinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gora Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Virayate. I offer my obeisances unto you, O Bhaktivinoda. You are the form of eternity, knowledge and bliss, the incarnation of God's potency, and the best follower of Rupa Goswami. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared after 48 years, there were three main devotees who continued preaching, and that was Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Pandit. These were the three main ones. The other associates of Lord Chaitanya had all disappeared, like Gadadhar Pandit. They all left. Apricot. The word is apricot. So Srinivasacharya is Chaitanya Ravesh. It's described he's 1/16 the potency of Lord Chaitanya. So if Lord Chaitanya is unlimited, what is 1/16 of something which is unlimited? It's also unlimited. So Srinivasacharya was the leader. Shyamananda Pandit in Krishna Leela is actually a Manjari, a gopi, and he preached a lot in Odisha. And Narottam also, in Krishna Leela, he is a gopi. And Narottam preached Bengal, Manipur, etc. So then, after they left, there was a bit of a gap. When we say gap, the acharyas describe it, the moon of Lord Chaitanya's mercy is shining, but sometimes the moon becomes covered. So today is Amavasya. And what is Amavasya? Dark moon. Dark moon. You won't see the moon because it's dark. It's gone. So Gaudiya Vaishnavism became a little covered, couple 100 years. Although the acharyas say now and again there were some bright stars, but they were more like Babajis and more hidden away and etc. Krishna Charan Das Babaji, Radha Raman Das Babaji, etc. Then Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur came and again illuminated things and preached. And then his disciple Baladev Vidyabhusana also came. Baladev Vidyabhusana's two prominent disciples were Nanda Mishra and Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj. Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj's disciples Uddhava Das Babaji Maharaj. His disciple is Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. And then we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Although not Diksha, but Siksha. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has established this line, Siksha being more important than Diksha. What does that mean? Siksha is the instructions, and Diksha means the formality of getting initiated. Yes. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur came at a time when Vaishnavism was somewhat low, and there were many Sahajiya groups. Now what is Sahajiya? Those that pretend. They put on a show. Very good actors. They should have actually been in Bollywood. And there are many, 13 Sahajiya groups have been named, but actually even more than that. Even more. Like Atavadi, Smarta Brahmins, caste Goswamis, Saki Baker. Saki Baker. They would sometimes dress as gopis and dance around. Saki Baker. Nedi, Sunni. Gauranga Nagaris. They would worship Lord Chaitanya, and they'd have the idea that Lord Chaitanya, he's the supreme male, Nagara, and we're like ladies and we can have a relationship with him. Another one was the Kali Chandi. So Kali Chandis, they would take fish and put tulsi leaf on fish and offer it to Lord Chaitanya. Very, very fishy. And you ask them, why are you doing that? And they say, well, we can't control our tongues, and we like fish. We like something fishy. On the other hand, Lord Chaitanya is very merciful, and he sees we're very fallen. We can't control our tongue alone. So no big deal. Lord Chaitanya will accept the fish. What do you think? You think that's a good proposition? It's bending it a little bit, it's bending the rules a little. I know in our congregation sometimes there are devotees who, before getting initiated or before taking shelter of Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, had a great affiliation or attachment to onions and garlic. So they cook the prasad, no onions, no garlic. And they offer it to Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda with great devotion, tears coming down their eyes, their hairs standing up on end, shaking, And then, when they've done the offering, they put in the onions and garlic. I have received reports that there are certain peoples who do that. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur preached against this and established the dignity of Vaishnavism, which was at an all-time low. And because these Sahajiya groups were so prominent, then respectable people, they identified Vaishnavism with Sahajiyism. They didn't take it very seriously. Vaishnavism just didn't take it very seriously. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he became actually a deputy magistrate. So at that time the British were controlling, and to be a deputy magistrate was very prestigious, and he had great power and control. And when people saw this deputy magistrate wearing tilak with neck beads, and obviously a Vaishnava, this increased their faith in Vaishnavism again. So this is one reason why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur pursued that position. So we'll just go over a few details very quickly. When he was 2 years old, he wrote his first poem. Most of us can't even talk when we're 2 years old. When he was 6 years old, he knew the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. He knew it. He knew all the stories and everything, and he's 6. Then his mother married him, or his parents, when he was very young. And then his father died when he was 11 years old. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's youth, his name is Kedarnath Dutt. From the external point of view, was problematic. He struggled. His father died. He's the eldest son. I don't know how many brothers he had. Um, so then, as is the tradition or the custom, he married when he was very young. And he had a child. And then his wife died. So his father died, and then his wife died. And on his mother's side, they were very wealthy, but they were Durga worshippers. They weren't Vaishnavas. And they were fabulously wealthy. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote his biography. It's been published now, the biography. I have some years ago the biography, but now I think it's officially published. And he describes that when he was young, he would stay at his maternal parents' house, mother's side, Durga worshippers, in Ula, in Odisha, and they would have Durga festivals, which would go on for 5 or 6 days, and they would organize very opulent feeding, and they used to have fights between elephants and water buffaloes. I guess this is the type of thing that Durga worshippers would do. Anyhow, some or other, his mother's side, they lost all the money due to corruption, bribery. So they lost all that wealth. The uncles took it all or whatever. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur eventually became a teacher. And then at some point he became a headmaster. And this was in Odisha, which is now, Orissa. It's now called Odisha, in Bhatrak. And he became the headmaster. At the same time, he pursued further studies and went into the legal profession. And he was, at some point or other, he was given more and more responsibility and became a deputy magistrate. So we'll tell you a little story now. He was deputy magistrate in Jagannath Puri from 1870 to 1874. And this is when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was born, his fourth son. So he was living in Grand Avenue. Grand Avenue is that main road where they take the Jagannath. And that house as now belongs to the Gaudiya Math. It's very nicely maintained by one of Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples, Srimad His Holiness Daitya Madhava Maharaj. But you can go there and you can see the room where Bhaktisiddhanta was born, his mother, etc. It's a Gaudiya Math temple, very beautiful. And we should go there and take darshan. So, I mentioned that there were Sahajiya groups. So there was one Sahajiya group called the Atavadis. So Atavadi means, I know more than my guru. Atavadi means, I know the most. And there was one Atavadi at the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And ironically, his name was Jagannath. And he went to Lord Chaitanya, Atavadi, and he said, actually, I'm an incarnation of Radharani's laughter. Of course, Lord Chaitanya laughed, as we would also. And then he was Prakrita Sahajiya, Atavadi. And then he said, actually, I'm so advanced, I've written some extra chapters in the Bhagavatam. Extra chapters I decided to write. And I have revealed to my followers a special 8-handed form. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 hands. Why 8? Because Lord Chaitanya only did 6. It's called Sad Bhuj. 6-handed form of Lord Chaitanya. I have the original painting that Jadharani Prabhu painted in the early 1970s of that Sadbhuj. And I have it in my room in Hillcrest. If you like, you can come and see it. Admission fees. And you know where I found that picture? Big oil painting. I found it in the pump house at the back of the temple, you know, where Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj used to stay. There's that pump house that no one ever goes to because I think the pump is broken or something. You know? So I found it in there, broken. So I knew what it was, and I took it and had it restored. And so this is the Sadbhuj. Two hands Ramchandra, two hands Krishna, two hands Lord Chaitanya, called Sadbhuj. So this Jagannath said, well, I've displayed 8 hands. 8 hands. So he was a real Sahajiya, Nata, Ativada. So these Ativadis became very popular. You'll find them apparently in Orissa. It's especially amongst the more lower class people, fishermen, etc. And they're also a little political. So, at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there was one Atavadi, and forget his name now. Anyone? What was his name? Oh, Bisakasena. So this Bisakasena, he lived in a small village outside of Jagannath Puri, outside of Bhubaneswari, Bisakasena. And he said he's an incarnation. I am an incarnation of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. And I'm going to destroy the British. I'm going to destroy the British. And he had mystic powers. So he was a mystic yogi. And he had 2 friends. There are many different stories on this. So I'm taking what I've heard from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's biography, his actual biography. So he had 2 associates, and one said he's Lord Brahma, and the other said he's Lord Shiva. And this Bisakasena used to light a fire and then lean into the fire, and he wouldn't get burnt. And then also fire came out of his hair, and he had a lot of hair. And why did he have a lot of hair? Because that's where the power is. You know, the Shakti. It's in the hair. You know, like Samson and Delilah. You know, Delilah and Samson. But he got finished. Delilah finished him. And all his hair was taken off. So this Bisakasena, he would lean into the fire and lean back. And he also cured many people from diseases. So he got a reputation. And then he announced to the people that I'm going to have Rasa Leela. I'm going to have it on this full moon night in the forests, in this village, and you can send your ladies, daughters, wives, whatever, and I will have Rasa Leela, and you should send them, because I'm God. See? So he was a real Sahajiya. And because he threatened to get the British out, the British were very worried. So they thought, how are we going to deal with this person? So they thought, well, if we deal with them, then there might be a revolution, there might be a riot. So they thought, let's ask Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because he was the deputy magistrate anyhow in Jagannath Puri. So they asked him. So Kedarnath Dutt, Bhaktivinoda Thakur went there. And according to the biography, the Hindu policemen, they wouldn't go with him because they were all afraid. So he had to take more Muslim policemen. You know? And he went to see this Bisakasena, and Bisakasena immediately said, I know who you are. I know who you are, because he was a mystic, so he knew these things. And you've come to challenge me or arrest me, but don't you know that I am that Krishna whom you're worshipping? I am God. Join me in this revolution against the British. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, well, he had some doubt. And he said, well, if you're God, then surely you should come to the Jagannath temple. Because Lord Jagannath is God, and surely you would like to go there. And then Bisakasena said, no, that's not God. He's just a lump of wood. He's a lump of wood. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very angry, because when you hear blasphemy of God or the Vaishnavas, you should become angry. Definitely. And that anger purifies you. But if you become angry for sense gratification, that anger pollutes you. Same anger, your blood pressure goes up, your heartbeat goes up, you start sweating, you become angry, you clench your fists, your eyes go a little bit red. Now that type of anger in the material world pollutes you. There's some type of poison that goes around the body, like adrenaline and stuff, and it's poisonous. It's not. But that same anger directed towards someone who's offended Krishna or his devotee is purifying. It's amazing how it works, but it's purifying. So when Hanuman got angry because Ravana stole Sita, that anger was purifying, completely purifying. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur became angry, and then immediately he could understand this person is a Sahajya, and had him arrested. So they arrested him. They put him into a jail. I would assume it would have been in Bhubaneswari. Then this mystic, Bisakasena, he started fasting. So he wouldn't eat and he wouldn't drink water. So that just increased his Shakti. You know that. It increases your Shakti. So he became even more powerful. And many followers, they came to the prison and they were demonstrating and this and that. So then this mystic yogi, Bisakasena, he started to cause Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his family to become ill. And gradually they became ill. The one daughter of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one day she was all right, the next day she was bedridden, and the next day she was all right. It was all very mysterious. And according to the biography, even Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife said, just let him go. We don't want our children to die. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very, he was determined that this upstart be dealt with. Then even Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself became ill. According to, there's different versions of the story, but one is that he was carried to court, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So they passed sentence. That this man, I think 1.5 years in prison. And then at that point, Dr. Walters, who was the doctor in charge, jumped on the back of Bisakasena and cut his hair off. And then immediately he collapsed on the floor. and lost whatever mystic powers he had. And then Visikasena was sent to prison, and then he took poison. Apparently he took poison, because this is Vaishnava aparad, to offend a great devotee like Bhaktivinoda, and he died. Now Prabhupada gives a talk in 1969 in London, which I played yesterday night, where Prabhupada says that Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself jumped on Visikasena and cut his hair off. So slightly different, but so these are the pastimes of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Very wonderful. And one way we can relate to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is, like many of you, he was married. His first wife died, and he married again Bhagavati. And Bhagavati was a highly advanced devotee, and it seems he had 13 children. In those days, it was a larger number. Nowadays, it's gone down a bit. But so we can relate to that, not the 13 children. We can relate to the fact that he was working. He had a job, like you have jobs. He was a family man. We can relate to that. And yet at the same time, he was a pure devotee, highly advanced. In his book, Gita Mala, he has revealed his identity as a young gopi in Krishna's pastimes. He's actually given his name, his age, and his seva, or even his service. Very intimate. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written this. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta never wrote anything about his identity, and Prabhupada didn't. Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj didn't. And all the other disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta didn't. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur chose to do this. So highly advanced, and yet not living in the temple. I'll just read, this is taken from his biography. He wrote to his other son, Lalit Prasad. Lalit Prasad was the younger brother of Bhaktisiddhanta. Bhaktisiddhanta was Bhima Prasad. And in that letter, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave his biography. So this is taken from the biography. 7:30 till 8:30, he would sleep for 1 hour. Oh, no, 7:30 to 8:30 you go to sleep. He'd get up at 10 p.m. and with an oil lamp, he would write till 4 in the morning. So for 5 or 6 hours. He wrote over 100 books. And he was fluent in Sanskrit, Oriyan, Bengali, Persian, Urdu, and English. So he wrote many books. The most famous and prominent book is Jaivedharma. And if ever you can read it, you should. It's very wonderful. 40 chapters. But many poems he wrote, many songs he wrote, etc. So then at 4 in the morning, he would rest for half an hour. Then at 4:30, he'd wash his hands and chant. And at 7 in the morning, he would answer letters and correspondence. Then 7:30 to 8:30, he would read. And then at 8:30 a.m., he'd receive visitors or continue reading. He'd also walk back and forth, solving various religious questions, sometimes in his mind and sometimes out aloud. At 9:30, for 15 minutes, he would take rest again. 9:45, he would take bath. It's described he did everything with a pocket watch. Pocket watch. 9:45, he'd take breakfast. which was chapati and milk. Then 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. he'd go to court. And he would be able to deal with 30 to 50 cases. The British administration were extremely impressed because he could deal with so many cases. He wasn't dithering. He sort of knew who was guilty and who wasn't. Of course, he had some spiritual understanding also. So from 10 till 1, he'd be in court. 1 p.m. till 2 p.m. he went home. Then back to the court, 2 p.m. till 5 p.m. And then he'd come back and take evening bath and prasad. So this is superhuman. Superhuman. Get up at 10, write books till 4. We have knowledge of Prabhupada also, rising at 1 or 1:30 in the morning, and then Prabhupada would write till about 5, and then he'd go for a walk. Prabhupada himself didn't go to Mangalati. Around about 5, he'd go for a walk. So when he was here, Durban Beach, we tried to get Prabhupada to go to the botanical gardens. You know, they're very nice. I think many of you have been there, botanical gardens. But they were closed. They only open about 7. I think we went to the Japanese garden once, and opposite City Estates, there's that little garden with the cannons. Do you know that one? Big cannons. Old Fort Road. So we took Prabhupada there. I used to go to Old Fort Road in the 1970s because I'd had to get permission to do the campaign. Unit 7, Unit 5, or Phoenix. So I had to go to City Estates, City Electrical, City Police, you know, the Metro Police. Metro Police. City Health, City Estates, and I had to get the stamp. I had to stamp it. It would take me the whole day. So I'd also go into that park, Old Fort Road Park, because I'd be tired, and I'd lie down under a tree. Dream of Krishna. And Prabhupada, who used to walk there. So I used to take rest there sometimes. So then Prabhupada would come back at 7 o'clock, and then he'd give class. So superhuman, it would seem. Worked on a very few hours of rest. I remember many times Prabhupada sitting on the Vyasasan in Durban, in Johannesburg, and since I was the chief pujari, I would offer him Guru Puja. You know, wave the incense and the peacock fan and all this. So I'm waving the peacock fan, and Prabhupada is doing this. And I thought, this is a spiritual, ecstatic symptom. This is actually a sattvika astika bhav. And I thought, there's no way he could actually be falling asleep. I was so stupid. I was so naive. You know, like didn't know what was happening. He was actually falling asleep because he pushed his body so much. But I couldn't dare to think he's falling asleep. You know, like that was beyond me. So I thought, definitely, Sattvika Astika Bhav. I just haven't read about it, but it's definitely from Lord Chaitanya's Leela, and no way he could be falling asleep. But now, after 50 years, I realized he was falling asleep. Yeah. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, great soul, we can pray to him, and we should pray to him, not just on his appearance and disappearance days, but every day. And Gorkishore, and of course Prabhupada, Jagannath Das. It's called our Guru Varga. Guru Varga means our elders, our Guru elders. These are our, and we can pray to them. And they may not be physically here, but they're powerful. They're eternal associates of Lord Krishna. And they can know what we're thinking. They have that power. They know. And they can help us. We can reach out to them. And as I mentioned, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we can identify with him because he was a Grihastha. He wasn't some sannyasi. He wasn't like Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who wandered around Vrindavan for 30 years, living under different trees. That's a little way out for us. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a job. He had responsibilities. He had a wife. He had children. So we can relate to him like that. So we should pray to him like that. That he can guide us, that he can help us, that he can inspire us. And he'd be very pleased in what we're doing here in South Africa. We're trying to preach. He wanted this message. He wrote the one book, Lord Chaitanya, His Precepts, in 1896 in English. And that's when Prabhupada appeared, that same year, and sent it to the McGill University in Canada and other places also. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kedarnath Dad, a great soul. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Gadadhar Pandit ki jai, Go Premanandi. So at the end of his life, he took Vesh. Vesh means Babaji Vesh. And he went into seclusion for the last 4 years or 5 years. And this means like samadhi. And he wasn't dealing with the material world or people at all. So this is like very intense type of, and that was at the very end of his life. And then he left his body in Bhakti Bhavan, and Bhakti Bhavan was the house he built in Calcutta. Some reason or other he went to Calcutta for some business, I don't know. And that house is in Bidon Street. And I looked it up on the Google, and it's there. It's still there. Belongs to Gaudiya Math, the very house where Bhaktivinoda Thakur left his body in Calcutta. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Go Premanandi. Would you like to ask any questions or make any points? Anyone? You got a question? You got to come forward. Can we give him a microphone? I have to stand here, and you have to look at everyone, and then put the microphone to your mouth, and you have to say who you are.
My name is Arjuna.
Is it on? Microphone? Louder?
My name is Arjuna.
Arjuna. And how old are you?
I am 9 years old.
9 years old. And where do you live, Arjuna? On the battlefield. I mean, is it Chatsworth or Los Angeles or where? Where do you live?
In North
Northdean, of all the holiest places. Northdean. Now, look at everyone there. Now, Arjuna, very loudly, you're going to ask your question.
By the circumambulation of Srimati Tulasi Devi, all the sins that one may have committed are destroyed at every step. Even the sin of killing a Brahmin. I don't understand.
Well, You may accidentally or on purpose kill a Brahmin. Like kill a Brahmin. Now you get a reaction for that. It's almost the worst thing to kill a lady, to kill a child, to kill a cow, to kill an old person, or to kill a Brahmin. It's very, very bad. So now you get a reaction. And the reaction is you will be killed yourself. But even worse than that, you'll go to the lower planets, like Yamaraj and all that stuff. But if you circumambulate, is that the word used? Walk around Tulsi, your sinful reaction, there's a word, can be washed away. Can be washed away. Does that make sense? So did you kill a Brahmin? Because Tulsi's here. You can walk around Tulsi. You want to walk around Tulsi? So now, Arjuna, I'm going to ask you, where is the soul? Is it in your head?
No.
Is it in your right arm? Is it perhaps in your leg? Have a quick look down there. Make sure it's still there. Two legs. Perhaps it's in your right ear. So where is the soul? Please tell us.
It's in your left. Here.
Here.
Yes.
But that's my pullover. Inside.
Yes.
But that's my chest. Can you see the soul?
No.
Then how do you know it's there? He's confused. So who do you worship?
Krishna.
Krishna. Well, what about Lord Shiva and Durga? No? Where do you want to go when you die?
Krishna.
Hmm? Krishna, not North Dean. You don't like North Dean, huh? Do you like North Dean? Is it North Dean like higher planets? Nah. All right. Thank you very much. We'll give you a little clap there. So please don't kill any Brahmins. Thank you, Arjuna. Anyone else would like to ask or pass a comment? There's not. Oh.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Haribo.
Actually, Arjuna's question was a two-part question.
Again?
Arjuna's question was two parts. He
Two
didn't
parts.
give you the second part. He asked me a week ago the same verse he quoted. So his question was, if he does something wrong and he circumambulates the Tulsi, then he can do it again, and then he just circumambulates. So he said he wants to know there's no point to it.
There's no?
There's no point to. It's just like a normal religion where you do something wrong and you
Yeah.
pray. That was the second part of his question.
Very, very smart. That's a very intelligent question. Yeah, there's accidental. There's accidental. And if you read the verse in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 30, Api chet suracharo ananya sanyabhak. Prabhupada mentions one may accidentally do something wrong. And he mentions that word accidental 8 times. Accidental, accidental. But then he says, but if you're doing it on purpose, and we could use the word premeditated, then it's different. So premeditated means you've figured it out with your intelligence, that you're going to do this, and then it's bad, and you shouldn't do it, but then you're going to come to the temple on Sunday, or rather Saturday night, and listen to the Swami give a talk, and then Sunday you're going to go there again to Suncoast. Then it's premeditated. You're doing it on purpose. So doing it on purpose and accidental is different. Is different. Yeah. So accidental, you'll be excused. But when it's premeditated and you do it again and again and again and again without any remorse, without any repentance, the word repentance, then you're going to get a reaction. You're going to get a reaction. So we're living, for instance, Saturday night, these conditioned souls, they're having their braais. Sometimes I go for a walk at night, where I live, you can smell it, the braais. And so they're engaging in sinful activity, but they don't know. It's no excuse, but on the other hand, they don't actually know. They don't know. So it's not so bad as if they know. Prabhupada gave the example that you commit a crime. Now that's not good. But if you're a policeman, you imagine you're a member of the Metro Police and you commit a crime, or the South African police, then you should know better. And the reaction is more. Or at least it should be more. You get that example? Yeah. So Prabhupada has also said in India, people generally know more what is sinful activity, like the eating of cow and so forth. So they can also get a more heavier reaction. So we just chant Krishna's name and pray for everyone and carry on our Krishna consciousness. Anything else you'd like to add? So we pray, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gadadhar Pandit, our Guru Varga. Question? Give him the microphone. What if somebody
give you meat to eat?
Meat to eat.
Take the potatoes out of meat and give it to eat.
They what?
The potatoes out of the meat. They're cooking meat.
They're cooking meat.
Yes. Just give the potatoes to eat unknowingly, not intentionally.
Not intentionally.
Yes.
Oh, you mean by mistake?
Yes.
You take a piece of something by mistake.
Say my friend doesn't know I'm a vegetarian.
Oh.
No, he cook the meat. I got the potatoes in there. And gives it to you to eat.
Then what do you do?
Yeah, that's
What should you do?
I unknowingly.
Oh, unknowingly. Well, yeah, so that's an accident, isn't it? That's an accident. So you'll be forgiven. You'll be forgiven. So don't worry. Srila Prabhupada, this is Hari Sori Prabhu, is writing in Transcendental Diary. So Prabhupada is traveling first class British Airways. And first class British Airways, they give you champagne. You know what is champagne? Je ne sais pas. Champagne. So they give Hari Sori champagne, and he gives to Prabhupada champagne, and Prabhupada sips it. I don't think he liked it much because he gave it back to Hari Sori. Hari Sori tasted it and realized, oh, man, I've given my guru champagne. So Prabhupada, this is Hari Sori, Transcendental Diary. He's very honest. He just speaks, he just says the truth. And he has an extremely good memory. Hari Sori Prabhu, very, extremely good. So I encourage you also to read that, Prabhupada Lilamrita, Transcendental Diary. You're wonderful, and you get to know more. Prabhupada. So it was an accident. So if you inadvertently, it could be an accident. It's all right. So thank you very much. So I have a little kirtan, a few minutes. Short.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Partha Sarathi Goswami Maharaj ki.
His Holiness Partha Srati Goswami Maharaj ki. We would like to thank you, Maharaj, for continuing to nourish our inspiration to practice Krishna consciousness and for sharing your association here with us at Shri Shri Radharanath. And thank you to all of you for participating this evening. So Maharaj is going to be handing out some prasadam. Please don't miss the opportunity. Hare Krishna!